story is obviously still being written. And each one of us is a part of the story. And it's not a magical, hypothetical story. It's all real. And before I begin, I'm reminded of a gentleman named Paul Harvey. Those of us who are older probably knew Paul Harvey as a radio commentator or a television commentator, and he would often come up, and he always had a story he was going to tell. And sometimes it was about a subject that you thought you knew, but he always had something surprising in his story. Or he would start talking, and it would seem fairly random. And then at the very end, it would lock into something you thought you knew. And at the end of it, he had a signature sign-off, and that's the rest of the story. This story starts in 1996. Our church was at the top of its game. Average attendance was in the 70s and 80s. On Christmas and Easter, we had parking lot attendants directing cars to overflow parking. I don't know if some of you even know if we have overflow parking. And on Christmas and Easter, we would set up folding chairs along the back wall because we were out of space in the pews. We were at the top of our game. We were active in missions and ministry. We had a daycare that was actually generating money and generating revenue for the church. We had a weekday, every day of the week, a senior meals program where we were feeding elderly members of our community. And that's in addition to the Scouts and the AA that we still support. But at that time, our student pastor was about to graduate and return back to his homeland in the wilds of Southern California. And we as a church looked at ourselves, looked at our finances, looked at who we were, and we said, we think we're ready to go to the next level. And we approached the conference and asked for an ordained elder. We didn't want another student. We didn't want another retired pastor. We were going to go to the next level, and hopefully this person could lead us to the next level of ministry within this community. The conference responded and appointed Mike and Sandra Jinnison. Mike was an energetic, passionate speaker, very good from the pulpit. Sandra worked within the administration within the district and conference. They were a clergy couple. They had 2 kids. And the first year, we continued to grow and expand. Church services were strong and interesting. Mike was a decent preacher. We were looking at expanding our daycare. We actually have our architectural drawings for a building on this empty lot next door. And we were active in collecting food and distribution for ministries like UMCOR Advances. UMCOR is the United Methodist Committee on Relief. So when there's a storm or a hurricane, the United Methodist Church is quick to get in there, just like the Red Cross. And we were a distribution point and collection point for some of those initiatives. But by the end of the next year, by the close of 1998, it was all in shambles. Mike and Sandra were divorcing. Mike was in prison. And the church membership was declining very quickly. Many members, many people who had been attending could not understand how a pastor could be convicted of fraud. And they looked elsewhere. The new pastor that was appointed to this church, Ted Schaefer, had come from Troy, I believe. Another family. I believe he was actually an elder. But he was struggling with whether or not he wanted to continue in the pastoral ministry. And within 3 more years, Ted had stepped away from the pastoral ministry, left this church. And by that point, the daycare was being closed, and we were still in decline. So the conference asked Pastor Gary Eubank to step in. Gary was retiring at the time from a church down in, I believe, Miamisburg. And he has been to a number of other churches, and he taught at Theological Seminary here in Dayton. And he came in and he provided a steady influence for us. But with Gary's introduction, we had already experienced a severe decline in attendance, a severe decline in revenue, and our finances had shifted. Under Don Lincoln, the student, and under Mike Jimison, every year at the beginning of the year, we looked at the money that we expected to make. And we said, okay, we are going to spend this on this kind of ministry, this on this kind of ministry. And we were spending a lot of money out in the community. But by the time we had gotten to Pastor Gary, we had shifted to what we called, at the time, zero accounting. We would start the year with $0. And we would spend what we needed to on maintenance and trustee issues. And we would spend what we needed to on pastoral care, pastoral support, Gary, basically. And the music ministry. We had a couple music salaries, custodians. And whatever was left, we would spend on ministry. And in the first couple of years, what was left was a few $1,000s. But as we went over time, from year to year, that number declined and dwindled and declined and dwindled to the point where within a few years, we were spending nothing effectively, not by budget anyway, on ministry. We were just paying for maintenance, a pastor, music, and hoping to get by. And as time continued on, we were asking the trustees to spend a little less on maintenance so that we could end the year with $0 and not end the year in the hole. And that went on for a long time. That went on for 16 years, where we were just kind of drifting and floating. In 2016, we apparently showed up on a list somewhere because the district approached us and said, we would like to replace Pastor Gary with another pastor. But Pam and Gary were not excited by that. They had one more year to complete 50 years in the pulpit. And that was, Gary is not a covetous man. He is not an egocentric man. But that was something he wanted very much. And we as a church wanted to support that. And Pam and Gary were, after 16 years, they were part of our family. So there was a bit of a letter-writing campaign among the congregation to the district saying, I don't know why you want to change things now, but we're just finding this money. And the district superintendent, who was responsible for pastoral appointments, and to a lesser extent responsible for the care of the churches within her charge, all 140 of them, I think, right now, or 140, 160, said, fine, I won't pull Gary this year, but do something. Do something as a church. We got to keep Gary. We started meeting again regularly for the first couple of months about what we could do. We talked about all sorts of ideas for new ministries, new things we might try. But it always boiled down to we didn't have any money for this. We didn't have any people for this. There was no support. There were no resources. And after about 3 months, we just kind of stopped and continued doing what we'd been doing, which was mostly nothing. Sometimes people get a little frustrated with me when I say we weren't doing much or we weren't doing anything. We were doing things. We were supporting AA. We were supporting Scouts. We were filling backpacks. But we weren't acting like a church, and certainly not as a church of our size. We were not out in the community sharing the good news of Christ and the example that Christ asked us to share with others. That's where we were weak, and we had been weak for a long time. So in 2017, when we were heard, the district superintendent decided she was appointing a new pastor. Gary was completing his 50th year. He was ready to retire. And we were introduced to Allie Rhodes, who, when we were interviewing her, said that she is good with children, she is good with outreach, she is a loving, caring pastor. Sounded just like everything we needed to try to get us out of our funk and moving forward into the next level. And in June of last year, she became part of our congregation. Hallie had a little bit of a slow start. She was getting married right after her appointment. She was distracted. Then she had an honeymoon. She was distracted. And she was distracted a bit by the burden of trying to manage two completely unique churches, one in Brookville and one here. And as she was trying to sort through those things, that slowed down her ministry a bit. And when she was finally finding her feet toward the end of 2017, she was looking over our situation and our finances, and she had come to some rather disturbing conclusions. Our church has backs. Allie has a major concern with backs. We could argue whether or not it was a rational or irrational concern, but it doesn't matter. She was very concerned about the presence of these bats and needed to get them resolved. And when she's looking for how we can take care of our bats, she was looking at our finances and realized that as it was, our finances had declined to the point where when she was about to get her raise and promotion this year, when she was appointed and ordained elder within the conference, we were not going to be able to afford the normal maintenance and her salary, let alone deal with the problems within the church, like bats. So she looked at that, looked at our options, met with the district, and they came to us, Allie, with a recommendation that the district supported, that we close, that we disperse, and that we attend other churches. Some of you know parts of that story. I grew up on a farm about 2 miles west of here. On a farm, there is no shortage of problems. There are always problems. You are always fixing something. You always have to maintain something. There is always an animal that needs care. And just when you think you're getting caught up, something else breaks, or you've got a long list of all the things you haven't been doing for the last 5 years because of the first set of problems. There's no shortage of things to do on the farm. And I learned at a very early age, you just don't complain. Complaining just takes time and energy away from the problem that you still have to fix. My father was an engineer, so he taught me at a relatively early age how to look at the root causes of problems. A real simple example of that might be when you walk into a room and you see a puddle on the floor. There's water on the floor. You need to clean that up. But the root problem is there's a hole in your roof. That needs fixing, or you're just going to have this problem repeating. And in addition to that, with my father, I have seen a multitude of old farmers who, with no formal engineering training, could do amazing things. And their whole mindset was, you just do what you can, where you are, with what you have. And I used to teach my engineering students that some of these farmers were doing miracles of engineering. You give an old farmer a roll of duct tape, a length of wire, and a hammer, and they can fix the space shuttle. They can, because they don't know they can't. They just do it because they have to. They do what they can where they are with what they have. So that became kind of a way of life, a mindset for me. And it served me very well in my career. I became known as a relatively innovative problem solver by doing what you can where you are with what you have. And when there were problems within my company, they would often ask me to take care of it. And then I became known out in the extended world, the state and federal government, where I became recognized as an innovative problem solver. And I was asked to advise multiple state and federal agencies on security preventative and national security issues. I've advised both houses of Congress. I have 8 patents because of that innovative problem solving. So when all this came to a head back at the end of last year, I did what I always do. Looked at the problem, what's the root problem, showed some very interesting aspects. We had a church that was paid for. It had backs, but it was in no immediate danger of being condemned. We had a congregation. It wasn't vast. It's about 20-odd people that are regularly in attendance, but they are faithful in attendance and they are faithful in their giving. We're generating between $45,000 and $55,000 a year in income from that faithful congregation. And yes, that $55,000 wasn't going to be enough to pay for maintenance and clergy and the backs. But the root problem did not appear to be that we could no longer afford to function as a church, we ought to close. The root problem, from my perspective, appeared to be we could no longer afford to do all these things. Maybe we need to stop spending all of our money on clergy. At the time, it was viewed as something of a radical idea. But I already knew something that made it, I'm just going to say, less radical. That is the origin of our church. Not just our real church, the New Lebanon United Methodist Church, but our greater church, the Methodist faith, was born from a problem where there were more churches than clergy. And at the time, clergy's answer was, go figure, well, they just need to go find somewhere to get to church. And John Wesley, the father of the Methodist movement, said, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. We're not in England over here. This is the United States. They can't go a mile and a half down the road to the next town and find another church with clergy. These people are traveling 3 to 5 times that distance to find a church without clergy. And if we can't provide the clergy, we've got to come up with another way. So John Wesley said, what we're going to do, our other way is we're going to put laity in the pulpit. We're going to put laity in charge of these churches. And we'll have one clergy member in an area that runs from multiple churches and does the things that clergy needs to do, like sacraments, weddings, and the like. That's how the Methodist movement began. And there were other contemporaries that were experiencing and seeing the same kinds of problems. The Brethren Church reflected many of the ideals and theologies of Methodism. Methodism was a direct outcome, or direct route to the Church of England. Brethren had many of the same philosophies. They were trying to get away from Lutherans. They were trying to get away from the Reformed Church. But there was a language barrier. Most of the Brethren churches were supported in German-speaking communities, of which Southwest Ohio was very full of German immigrants. So the contemporaries of John Wesley, guys like Otterbein, a name you've probably heard, who was in the Brethren side of this, decided to do the same thing. And when this church was formed, back around 1840, we shared one pastor with Farmersville, Liberty, and Twin Chapel, just north of Germantown. And that pastor rode a circuit. They were called circuit riders, quite literally. And that's part of our origin, not just as a church, but as a church Methodism. So I knew we had a history with that. It didn't seem like such a radical idea. So if we could do this, if we could stop paying clergy, what could we do where we were with what we had? And immediately something else jumped out, something that we had. We had in our congregation a certified lay speaker. Now, lay speaking, as I mentioned, the laity was part of the Methodist structure as it went forward. Lay speaking is to this day a part of the Methodist structure. The Methodists at conference split the vote, split all activity between the clergy and the laity. And it doesn't pass that clergy is 100% yes and laity is 100% no. It's a 50-50 vote. It doesn't pass. And as a certified lay speaker, I had not only spoken in this church locally, but I had spoken in a number of other churches throughout the district, across the Dayton area. I had had training in order to become certified That meant that not only had I been trained on the basics of speaking, and that not only had I been trained on some advanced ideas like Methodist history and advanced pulpit supply, I think was one of the classes, but that I had actually sat down in an interview and been vetted by others who were asking where I was coming from, where I was going, what my motivations were, so that there was a confidence across the district, across the 100-odd churches that were in play, that if you engaged the certified lay speaker, you had some level of confidence that you were not getting a radical up in the pulpit. And over the course of the last 30 years, I have conducted Sunday morning services, not just here, but in probably somewhere between 20 and 25 other churches across the Miami Valley. As far east as Jamestown, as far west as the Indiana line of Fairhaven. Churches as big as Monroe, 200-300 people in attendance at multiple services. Churches as small as Greenbush that might have had 10 or 12. We have that available to us. Okay? So with that, let's look at the rest of, okay, if we actually decide to go this direction and do it, what do we need? If we get rid of clergy, what else do we need? What does clergy do? Well, clergy conducts Sunday morning services. We know that. We've got that covered. Clergy teaches and leads. Clergy is responsible for pastoral care, visitation, hospital visits, home visits, making sure that the love of Christ is demonstrated in all of our actions and in everything we do. Clergy is responsible for performing the sacraments, baptism, communion. As a Catholic, I know 7 sacraments, but those are the 2 sacraments in Methodism. And if you're good, clergy leads and offers strategy on missions and ministry. Pulpit supply is covered. What about leading and teaching? Well, as part of that certification process, I had taken classes in Methodism. I had taught classes in Methodism. I have taken classes in Judaism. I can convert to being a Jew if I choose. Taken advanced classes down at Temple Israel. I've studied the Quran, and I've met with local clerics to better understand the Quran. I've published a book on belief and how it influences politics and religion from a Christian, Jewish, and Muslim perspective. Teaching seemed to be covered, at least safely. Pulpit supply, check. Teaching, check. Pastoral care. Ooh. That's something that I'm going to be very interested in. I think a person's strengths are their weaknesses, certainly reveal their weaknesses. One of my strengths is the ability to look at a problem, screen off the emotions, look at the raw data of a problem, and focus on the raw conclusion. But because of that ability to screen off emotions, I tend to miss certain social clues and cues among people. I can be a little abrupt. Some people think I'm rude. Not intended, just born that way. I am not Sheldon Cooper on the Big Bang Theory, but I would say I am not normal. I'm probably somewhere in between, hopefully more on the normal side than not, but I don't control that. So I am probably not the best person in place when someone is struggling, when someone is crying, when someone is wondering why God is allowing this kind of thing to happen. I'm probably not the best person to come in and say, well, let's look at what we can do where we are, what we have. Let's buck up. Just face it and get through it. So recognizing that weakness, looking within the church, what can we do with where we are with what we have? And something very quickly, one pops out. We had not been in this ministry for a long time. But even where we were today, when we were introducing ourselves to others who did not know us, when we were telling Pastor Allie in the district who we were as an identity, our self-proclaimed identity was that we are a loving, caring congregation. The one thing we still excelled at was taking care of one another. we needed, we had us. We had all of us. And at this point, it was starting to look like we could go in this direction. I sat down with Jim Dillon and said, look, this is what we can do. This is what I can bring to the table. This is what I can't. And Jim said, well, I can lead the pastoral care component going forward. Doesn't need to be you if that's what you're weak in. This happens to be something that I'm fairly good at. And Jim Dillon, along with Bill Schreiber and some others, are going to be conveying our pastoral care mission. They're going to be leading the pastoral care component of our congregation as we go forward in this bold experiment. Pulpit supply, check. Teaching, check. Pastoral care, check. Sacraments. I don't see it. Don't know how we're going to do that. But we had enough ready to go at this time, so around February of this year, we went to the district and said, we have a plan. You're talking to us about closing. We think we're going to go in a different direction. We're not going to quit. We're going to try harder. Now, here are the things that we know we can do with what we have, but we still don't have sacraments covered. And the district perks up and says, ooh, we can't give you a free pastor. We can't solve your problems with your church, but we can provide an elderly, retired clergy that can perform your sacraments. That person could probably even fill the pulpit a couple of weeks a year and mentor you if you go through this process. If you can find $100 a week to support that kind of a person, we can make it happen. Done. Sacraments, check. Now, a quick little spin here. I've been in the district a long time. I know how easily distracted they are. They have 160 churches to deal with. And I know that they don't always follow through. So when we got back from those conversations and started our all-hands meetings about what we might do as a church, I also continued to look for sacramental support. And looking at what we could do where we were with what we had. I have a friend that I played basketball with for a couple of years. He happens to be a pastor of the Methodist Church in Farmersville. We know him. He's 4 miles down the road. Farmersville was once joined with us as part of the circuit. And when I made that phone call and reached out to Brian, he came up and talked to us, and he basically said, let me get this straight. You guys are going to do all the heavy lifting, and you're asking me to do the fun stuff. He was excited. He went beyond our hope of, can you cover the pastoral sacramental issues? Forgive me for bouncing around. He was saying, what else can we do to help? Do you want to do some pulpit exchanges? Do you want us to get involved as churches and do some things together? And I'm going, whoa, Brian, I am excited to have you on board and excited with your enthusiasm. Right now, we're still trying to figure it all out. Our feet aren't even on the ground. We'll get back to you on your offers. I don't want you to think we're not interested, but we don't know what we need yet. I'm just happy to have you in my pocket for baptisms and communion, sacraments, fellowship, which is a good thing because we still haven't heard back from the district from February on our sacramental support. Jessica's smiling. She was there. What about that one unresolved issue? Mission and ministry. Leading and coaching, teaching, strategy, mission and ministry. Good pastors have that ability. And to be fair, we're going back 6 pastors for me, all the way back to Bob Warner, and not all of our pastors have had all of those abilities. But if we're looking for what we can do where we are with what we have, and what we need as a church, what can we do? That looked like a deeper problem. That was the critical path for us going forward. We knew we had to get re-engaged in ministry. But when we talked about new missions and new ideas in ministry, even during the all-hands meetings, we were saying things like, we're old, we're tired, we're all tapped out. Every one of us is already doing things. We don't have any more time or bandwidth to do more things. And the people that we're trying to reach out to, people in the community that are unchurched, the young families, we are out of touch. with that demographic. We're not even sure how to approach them, let alone with what to approach them with. And even if we did, we didn't have any money for it. But with all this put together, with all this plan that was becoming implemented, we knew we were moving forward. And actually, in June of this year, the bishop appointed me as a supply pastor to this congregation. So we are off and on our way with this exercise. And part of the conditions for me to step into this role and to assume these responsibilities, I gave 2 conditions. The first was that I was doing this for free. We weren't paying anybody else. I wasn't going to do 20, 30 hours a week for free so that we could pay a pianist or anybody else. And we agreed to that. Cool. The second condition was, if I do this, no more than half of our money that we are going to save on not spending on clergy is going to go to the building. We have to spend at least half on mission, ministry, and outreach. And reinvigorate where we're going as a congregation. And we all agreed with that. So we had ministry and outreach fueled with money. If all things hold, we should have $10,000, $15,000 to spend on ministry this coming year in the 12-month cycle. We don't even know what we're going to spend it on, but we have it. So how can we figure out what to spend it on? And just about the time as we were going through this and everything was locking in, a new thing started to happen within the church. We had a couple of young people within the church, some were members, some were not, stepping up and doing and acting in ministry in ways that we could not imagine. We didn't know what to do, we didn't know how to do it. Ideas like 3-on-3 basketball tournaments, a clothing closet, clothing, outreaches in the community. And these were coming from Jessica, from Teresa, from Stephanie Hassel, not here today. She wasn't even a member of the church at the time. But these ideas started showing up. Things that we could not imagine on ourselves, being older and out of touch. But the one missing piece, the one piece that we lacked, just showed up out of nowhere. And in the last 3 months, we have been active going out into ministry and active in going out into the community. Mission and ministry, check. None of this was possible with one person. None of it. No one person stepped in and did all the things that we needed to do to make this happen. And yet, doing what we could, where we were with what we had. Even with a small group of people in our congregation, it turned out we had everything we needed to go forward, to take it to the next level. Everything. And some things we had no idea where they were coming from. They just showed up. Last week we talked in our sermons about faith and how God takes care of the plants and the birds. Don't you think God's aware of you? God will take care of you. Just have faith. And here is a working, living example of how we were going to step out in faith. It wasn't part of a grand plan. We'll step out in faith. I'm sure it happened. But that was part of what we said we were going to do. We're going to do this. We're going to step out in faith. And when we do, the rest will just take care of itself. Well, one of the things that we were trying to do just took care of itself right away. And in my story, I'm not sharing other things that we're doing. There are still a multitude of other things happening within our congregation. Barb and Charles mentioned on the finance side. Count the money, write checks, pay the bills. That all happens so that we can just gather and move forward and think about ponder high thoughts like ministry. Bob, you and Janet are active trustees, looking at all the problems that need fixing. And the plan of, okay, what are we going to do first? How are we going to do it? Rick, are you still trustee? Barb Ludwig hasn't been here in a month. She's still sending birthday and their anniversary. Hey, just thinking of you. You're in our thoughts. Every one of us is doing something that's important to the life and the growth and the advancement of this church. None of us is doing it alone, but all of us as a body have unique, special skills and abilities, special gifts that right here, right now in this place, are not just needed, but important to taking us forward. We have everything we need. And that's the part of this story that gives me a little chilly. I don't want to say goosebumps. I have no idea where all these things came from, but they're all right here, right now. So we're going to move forward. We're going to rely upon each other. I'm relying on you to cover my back on things that I know I'm weak in. I am not worthy to be called your pastor. And in fact, I do not. The title I was given by the bishop is supply pastor. I call myself a lay preacher. If there is a pastor in this room, it's Jim Dillon. And when we look at ministry and missions, it's all of us. Right now, we're asking Jessica to lead as a leader and teach us and to take us forward in missions and ministry. To cover the things that I cannot do while I'm standing up here doing the things that I can. How will you engage? How will you take us to the next level? What kinds of things have God placed on your heart to do differently as we move forward? Because each one of us in this small group is bringing something not just important, but critically important to the life and growth of where we're headed. You are a part of something wonderful. You are part of the body of Christ. And you are a part of this church right now, right here. I'm a little long because there's one other thing that I want to do today that's very important. I've told you I am not worthy to be called your pastor. But I very much desire your prayers and your blessing as we go forward. Standing up here in the pulpit and teaching and being a strategist, I'm going to ask you for your prayers that the Holy Spirit may guide my thoughts, guide my heart, so that I might be a better leader and teacher for this community as the community is going about trying to solve the problems of the building and solve the problems in ministry, demonstrate the love and care of Christ in our community. So I've asked Jim Dillon to come forward and to offer a prayer, and if you will join him to offer your blessing. If you're not comfortable offering your blessing, that's fine. I'll take whatever I can get right now. And then after we do that, I'm going to return that and offer the same for Jim and for the rest of the congregation as we move forward. Jim.
In thinking about this, I came up with a few scripture verses that I'd like to bring out. Of course, with Dan, it's more blessed to give than receive, which he's doing. And blessed is the man who thou choosest. That's what God says. I think that's Dan. And a faithful man shall abound in blessings. I see all that happening with Dan. And as far as a prayer, bless Dan, the gifts your hands have brought. Bless you, the work your heart has planned. For yours is the faith, the will, the thought, and the rest is in the hand of the Lord. Amen.
I'd like to pray for you for a moment. Lord, we thank you for your many, many blessings. All the things you've given us. The things that we didn't even expect as we stepped out into this road. We have many things within our congregation as a gift from you. And I ask, Lord, that you send down your Holy Spirit, send down your love, that you may fill Jim, guide him, and lead him in his part of this task. The congregational care component is such an important part of where we're heading as a church. Make him an effective leader, Lord. Guide him, that we may all be stronger for it. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Last week Day. This week we talked about differences in community. Next week we are going to have our first children-centric service, and we're going to be talking about teaching and learning in Christ. I hope you can be here for that. And as we close our service, I'd like to say a prayer for each and every one of you. And I'm going to highlight Jessica Wells as our leader in ministry. But for all of us to be in ministry, let's pray. Lord, just when we think that there is no alternative, just when we look with despair at the problems that we face in our lives, you always seem to show up. Thank you for your love and attention. We thank you, Lord, for your presence, and from time to time reminding us that you are never far away. We've said, Lord, that we're going to try to do better, and we ask, Lord, for your support, your guidance, your direction, and courage as we try to step out and do things that we've forgotten to do with people that we don't understand yet. Fill each and every one of us, Lord, and especially, Lord, your servant Jessica Wells, that she may have the energy, the strength, the faith, and the vision to lead us, to teach us, to pull us kicking and screaming into your ministry, into this community. We thank you, Lord, for the gifts that you've given us.